Imagine splurging on your favorite items without paying a penny upfront. Welcome to the world of buy now, pay later. In essence, buy now, pay later, or BNPL, is a modern twist on the old layaway system. It allows you to make a purchase and divide the cost into smaller, more manageable payments spread out over a set period. This might sound like a credit card, but there's a twist. With most BNPL services, there's no interest if you pay on time. Doesn't that sound like a sweet deal? Now let's talk about its meteoric rise. In the past few years, BNPL has skyrocketed in popularity. From fashion to furniture, electronics to vacations, you can now use BNPL for almost anything. Companies like Klarna, Afterpay, and Affirm have become household names, and their user base is expanding at an astonishing rate. But who are these users? Predominantly, they are younger consumers, millennials and Gen Z, who are either wary of credit cards or don't have access to them. They are drawn to the convenience and immediacy that BNPL offers. With just a few clicks, they can get their hands on the latest iPhone or that designer bag they've been eyeing, all without shelling out the full amount up front. It's the allure of immediate gratification without the immediate financial pinch. But don't let the convenience fool you. The reality is that while BNPL provides an easy way to finance purchases, it's not without its pitfalls. It's a financial tool, and like all tools, it has to be used responsibly. Late payments can lead to fees, interest, and even a negative impact on your credit score. That's not all. The ease and accessibility of BNPL can also lead to overspending, as it encourages consumers to buy more than they can afford, leading to a cycle of debt. This is particularly concerning when you consider the demographics most attracted to BNPL. The BNPL phenomenon, while seemingly attractive, carries hidden costs and implications. It's important to understand these before diving headfirst into the world of buy now, pay later. The allure of instant gratification is powerful, and BNPL capitalizes on this. Indeed, the buy now, pay later model has a potent psychological appeal that's hard to resist. It's a fascinating blend of human desire for immediate satisfaction and the illusion of affordability that this service creates. Let's delve a little deeper into this allure. Imagine walking into a store, spotting an item you've been longing for, but it's just out of your budget. Now imagine if the store offers you an option to take the item home, pay nothing upfront, and instead break down the cost into smaller, more manageable payments spread over a few weeks or months. Sounds tempting, doesn't it? That's the magic of BNPL. It's like having your cake and eating it too, but with a potential cost. The power of instant gratification is deeply rooted in our psychology. We as humans are wired to seek immediate rewards. This is where BNPL strikes gold. It taps into this inherent desire, making us feel we're getting a good deal, even when we might not be. Another psychological factor at play here is the illusion of affordability. BNPL services cleverly break down the cost of a product into smaller payments, making expensive purchases seem more affordable. This perceived affordability can lead to an increase in impulse purchases, as the pain of parting with a large sum of money is lessened. But, like all that glitters, this too is not gold. The convenience and immediate gratification offered by BNPL can come at a high price. While it may seem like a harmless service at the outset, it can quickly lead to overspending and accumulation of debt. If not managed responsibly, these small payments can pile up, creating a snowball effect of debt that's hard to escape. So, while BNPL might seem like the perfect solution to your shopping desires, it's essential to understand the psychological strings attached. The allure of instant gratification and the illusion of affordability are powerful tools that BNPL services use to draw in consumers. This seemingly harmless service can quickly spiral into a cycle of debt. So before you click on that buy now, pay later option, pause, take a breath, and consider the potential consequences. BNPL is not as cost-free as it appears. This statement may come as a surprise, but let's delve deeper into the hidden costs associated with buy now, pay later services. At first glance, BNPL seems like an attractive proposition. No upfront cash needed, easy monthly installments, and an instant purchase. But these services often come with a catch. It's like a shiny apple with a worm inside, and that worm is late fees and interest on missed payments. Most BNPL services do not charge interest if you stick to your payment schedule. However, miss a payment, and you could find yourself on the hook for late fees or even interest. These fees can quickly add up, turning your bargain purchase into a financial burden. And then there's the impact on credit scores. While many BNPL providers do not report positive payment activities to credit bureaus, some do report missed payments. This can have a negative impact on your credit score, making it harder to secure credit in the future. Furthermore, the convenience of BNPL can lead to impulse buying, resulting in more debt than one can handle. Imagine making multiple BNPL purchases simultaneously, each with its own set of installments. Before you know it, you're juggling several payments, and if you miss any, you're in a cycle of debt that's hard to escape. BNPL, in essence, is a form of credit, and like all forms of credit, it needs to be managed responsibly. But the problem arises when consumers view it as a way to bypass their budget constraints, leading to an accumulation of debt that becomes difficult to service over time. So while BNPL can be a useful tool when used correctly, it's essential to be aware of the potential pitfalls. The hidden costs and the ease with which debt can accumulate can turn BNPL from a convenience into a financial nightmare. In conclusion, these less obvious costs can have serious financial implications. It's crucial to remember that while BNPL offers an attractive way to spread out payments, it also carries the potential for hidden costs and rising debt. The BNPL industry is not without its critics and casualties. Let's take a moment to delve into some real-life stories of individuals mired in BNPL debt. Picture this, a single mother, let's call her Jane, drawn in by the allure of easy credit. Jane begins to use BNPL services for essential purchases. It starts small, with groceries and school supplies for her children. Gradually, however, Jane finds herself using BNPL for larger purchases. Before she knows it, she's juggling multiple payments and late fees are starting to pile up. Jane's story is not an anomaly, but a cautionary tale that echoes the experiences of many. Now meet John, a college student with limited credit history. He uses BNPL to buy a new laptop for school. But when he misses a payment, he's hit with a hefty interest charge he wasn't prepared for. His credit score takes a hit, and he finds himself in a cycle of debt that he struggles to break free from. These stories are not unique. They are the lived experiences of countless individuals who have fallen into the BNPL trap. Financial authorities worldwide have taken note. In the UK, for example, the Financial Conduct Authority is now investigating BNPL companies. They're concerned about the lack of transparency and the potential for consumers to take on unmanageable debt. In the US, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has raised similar concerns, calling for tighter regulation of the BNPL industry. Regulatory bodies aren't the only ones worried. Consumer advocacy groups are also sounding the alarm, expressing concern over the lack of consumer protection. They argue that BNPL companies are not held to the same standards as traditional lenders, which can leave consumers vulnerable. These stories and regulatory concerns paint a sobering picture. They highlight the potential dangers of BNPL, particularly for those who are financially vulnerable or lack a clear understanding of the terms and conditions. These stories serve as a stark warning of the potential pitfalls of BNPL. The growing amount of outstanding BNPL debt is a ticking time bomb. This is not an alarmist statement, but a reflection of the financial reality we're heading towards. When consumers are unable to pay back their BNPL debts, this could lead to a significant surge in loan defaults, creating an economic bubble that's bound to burst. Imagine this scenario. The economy takes a downturn, jobs are lost, and suddenly, those easy-to-manage monthly payments become an unbearable financial burden. This could result in a wave of defaults, with millions unable to pay their debts. This is the potential BNPL bubble we're talking about. But what happens when this bubble bursts? The impact would not be isolated to the consumers who default on their payments. It could also have a detrimental effect on retailers. Many of these businesses rely on the BNPL model to drive sales, and a wave of defaults could mean a significant loss of revenue. This could even push some businesses to the brink of bankruptcy. Moreover, the ripple effects of this bubble bursting would be felt throughout the economy. Financial institutions that have backed these BNPL companies could find themselves facing substantial losses. This could lead to a tightening of credit markets, making it more difficult for businesses and consumers to borrow money. In a worst-case scenario, we could be looking at a repeat of the 2008 financial crisis. Back then, it was subprime mortgages that were the ticking time bomb. Today, it could very well be BNPL debt. Of course, this is a hypothetical scenario, but it's a scenario that's becoming increasingly plausible as BNPL debt continues to rise. It's a reminder that while BNPL services can offer short-term convenience, they can also lead to long-term financial instability. The potential fallout from a BNPL bubble could have far-reaching economic consequences. It's a sobering thought and one that should make us all pause and reconsider the true cost of buying now and paying later. As consumers, it's essential to use BNPL services wisely and demand better regulation. This statement serves as a reminder that we are not mere spectators in the financial world, but active participants whose choices shape the landscape. So, how can we use BNPL wisely? First, it's crucial to avoid the temptation of overspending. Buy now, pay later can be a useful tool, but remember, every purchase you make today is a bill you'll have to pay tomorrow. Also, make a habit of reading the fine print. Understand the terms of your agreement, including the interest rates and potential penalties for late payments. And lastly, treat BNPL like any other form of credit. Use it judiciously and responsibly. But responsibility falls on more than just consumers. There's a growing chorus calling for tighter regulation and consumer protections in the BNPL industry. Some argue that BNPL providers should be subject to the same rules as traditional lenders, including stringent credit checks and transparent disclosure of fees and interest rates. Others call for caps on late payment fees and stricter advertising standards to prevent misleading claims. As for the future of BNPL, it's a tale yet to be written. Some predict increased regulation, while others anticipate the emergence of alternative, more consumer-friendly financing options. There's also a chance that the BNPL bubble could burst, leading to a shakeup in the industry. Regardless of the path it takes, one thing is clear: BNPL is not a fleeting trend, but a fixture of the modern retail landscape. As we move forward, we must navigate this new terrain with caution and wisdom, recognizing the potential pitfalls and opportunities it presents. In the end, the future of BNPL will largely depend on how we as consumers choose to use it and how regulators choose to govern it. Let's ensure we're making choices that lead us towards a sustainable and fair financial future.